Please note that this content is for educational purposes and for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. More details available in the description box. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today's case takes us to Brigham City, Utah, and it is an unsolved case and the police need the public's help to try to solve this case. So that's where we come in, because this community, we're known as the Grizzlies, are very proactive. You guys are amazing at sharing things, so please like and share already now so that this case can get out there and more people can hopefully talk about it. And continue to share this until somebody's memory might just be jogged and they say, you know what? Yeah, I saw something and I'm going to say something. You just never know. So let me quickly first show you on the map the area that we're going to be looking at, and then we're going to do a presentation, and then we're going to be watching the press conferences that the police have had so far. Okay, so let's quickly do it like this. All right, so here's Brigham City Municipal Airport. As I zoom out here, you could see. Here's Salt Lake City, Utah, here in the middle. You see that? So it's north of that. Here's Ogden. And if we keep going and we zoom in here now, here is Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge Center. Okay, and we keep going north here. Then there's this little pond. There's actually quite a few little ponds over here. If you go here on this north 2600 West Road and West Highway 13, there is where a trash bag was found on April 2nd of 2025 with human remains in it, and they haven't been able to identify who it is. And that just breaks my heart. Who is that? The police, they've checked the missing persons databases, they're looking everywhere, they're trying to find information, and now they need the public's help. Okay, so welcome to all my moderators, patrons, members, subscribers, and any locals in chat. I saw there's actually quite a few locals just before this live stream started that said that you're just 15 miles away or 10 miles away from where this happened. So thank you for being here, and I really hope that there will be answers in this case. Whiskey Girl said this was 15 minutes away from me. This county is getting crazy. We have had 4 bodies. Is that so? In 18 months in a 40-mile area. Interesting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so let me just quickly put you on the ground here so that you can see. Well, we're putting the Google man on the ground. Everybody buckle up. So here, you will see in all the news clips that I'm going to play when the police had their press conferences, this is where it was. And if we just go forward a little bit now, here's the train tracks, okay? And if we just turn ourselves around and zoom in, you will see this in some of the pictures as well. This like this grayish rope and wire and this pole, and the remains were found here, somewhere around here, on the surface, not buried in a trash bag, and they don't know exactly how long they were there. So that is what this is the area that we're looking at. All the people that live in these houses are shocked. They're like, whoa, like firstly, how did no one spot it? They don't know how long it was there, but also why would someone put human remains here? They said it's not like a busy area, but it's not exactly completely secluded either. All right, so now that I've shown you the map, I would like to show you a presentation, and then we'll deep dive the press conferences. Okay, so let's look at a timeline. On Wednesday, April 2nd of 2025, Union Pacific construction crew discovered a black garbage bag near 2600 West along Highway 13 in Brigham City, Utah. It's in a remote part of Box Elder County. Shame, whenever I hear Box Elder, I just think of Dylan Rounds. Remember the Dylan Rounds case? I mean, if you didn't know, they eventually did find his remains, right? I hope you saw that update. So, okay, so they called the police. They actually called 911 at exactly, they said it was 1:58 p.m. The news articles say approximately 2 p.m. The Union Pacific crew had been working in the area when they spotted this trash bag, and when they then lifted it and they felt, whoa, that's a little bit heavier than usual, what is it? They opened the trash bag, and inside they saw hair and bones. Yeah, so they called 911 like, holy crap, I think we found human remains in a trash bag. So then crews from the Box Elder Sheriff's Office, the Weber Metro CSI, and Weber County Cadaver Dogs responded to the scene. Police officers were all dispatched from all these different agencies, and the remains were confirmed to be human, and the death was classified as a homicide, and a homicide investigation began. Officials believe that the trash bag had been in the area for an extended amount of time, between several months and a couple of years. I'm like, on the surface? For several months or a couple of years? Wow. So whoever put them there, I don't know, man. Clearly they did actually pick a good spot, which is terrible to think of, right? In plain sight and nobody knowing who on earth, who that is. Okay, so Stay Wild Mustang said she had to have been there for a while to be bones. The police have also said they don't know what if, for example, somebody had kept human remains in a bag at their home, for example, and then years later gone and disposed of them here. You know, there's also that timeline to consider as well. So that's interesting. Remains located were in a trash bag on the surface, so not buried in the ground, even though later you could see they're digging. So they were obviously at that spot just being like, damn, let's just dig here to see what else we find. And they also looked all around the area to see if they had any other clues or what was happening. It was approximately the bag 20 to 30 feet south of the train track and approximately 10 to 15 feet off of the 2600 West Road. Amber C says, I'm in Salt Lake and you're breaking this news to me. Thanks, G, you're the best. Oh my goodness. Thanks for being a member for 20 months. I really appreciate your support, and wow. That's always actually amazing when people say they're local and they didn't hear about this, and they hear the news here first on Grizzly True Crime. Okay, so again, Brigham City, Utah, and I'm just circling exactly where. Remember what I just showed you on the map, so you could see it on the picture now. You could see that pole, and you could see the wire there, and you could see the area where they actually found that trash bag. I mean, to discard of a human like that as well is absolutely disgusting. I hope that they do identify who this is, and I hope that they do find who killed them and, you know, what happened to them, and that there will be justice. You never know. I always have hope. There's lots of cases that could be unsolved or cold, and then something could be the break in the case. Police said that somebody actually contacted them and said, hey, I've got dash cam from there, so maybe I could hand that over, and they handed that over, and so they're busy analyzing that. Stealth Stalk 22 said that road connects two main roads in Brigham City, which both roads are right off the freeway. There's also several truck stops, manufacturing businesses in that area. Yeah, I mean, if it does turn out to one day be the work of a serial killer, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Based on what you're saying here, I mean, I immediately thought of Rex Heuermann. I was like, oh my word, this is just because of the way the police worded. See, you can see on my presentation here, they talk about this suspicious package. I'm like, why do you word it that way? So we're going to read this now. So on the top right, it says, this is an extremely sad and unusual case. I just want to make sure we conduct a very thorough investigation to get justice for this victim, said Brigham City Police Chief Chad Reyes. And we're going to watch his press conference from just 3 days ago. And he said, although in the news release from Brigham City Police said the body was found in a garbage bag, this police chief said it was found in a more pliable container, but would not elaborate, citing the need to hold some things back for the investigation. That's interesting. Like wrapped and in a garbage bag, or like in a tarp, in a garbage bag, in burlap, in a garbage bag, in... What do they mean? What exactly are they saying? But they can't say too much, but I just find the details quite interesting. And I mean, they were like immediately, okay, this is a homicide investigation. Welcome, Denise. So yeah, that wording is quite interesting. I haven't seen any similar cases around, but human remains were found in a pond in Utah recently as well. So we'll look at that too. So this is what we know so far, and this is what needs to be shared far and wide. I put all my sources, the links, in the description box below. So if you want to find the articles and things with these pictures in, if you want to go and screenshot them or download them yourself, then please do. I'm also going to show a bigger picture on the next slide of that tattoo. Okay, so just know that you can either find the links or you can, share this. What we know so far, the remains. They said it was a full body. There were no missing parts, because I already saw on social media there was a lot of rumor starting to brew of mutilation and missing body parts and all sorts of things, but the police have said a full body was found. There were no missing parts, and the body was in a state of heavy decomposition in a black trash bag. They said there's not much left of the whole body, but all body parts are there. The remains are being held at the Utah State Medical Examiner's office in Taylorsville. An autopsy and forensic examination was conducted on Thursday, April 3rd of 2025. And I mean, it's April 6th, so this is just a few days old, this case. It revealed that the victim was dressed in women's clothing, a black hooded sweatshirt and leggings. So they haven't specified the gender of the remains. They said they're still working on that. But they did say wearing women's clothing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a female victim, not from what we know yet. If you consider the Long Island serial killer case and we think of Asian Doe was also wearing female clothing, but was a biological male based on what the police there shared with us. That's obviously in Suffolk County, New York. This is in Utah. So it revealed the victim was dressed in women's clothing, black hooded sweatshirt and leggings. A distinctive, this is the identifier. This is why I want to share it, because you just never know if someone's like, what? I know someone with that tattoo. A distinctive heart-shaped tattoo was discovered on the victim's left bicep. So that's very specific. They said the police have released an artist's rendition of the tattoo, which you can see on the right-hand side. They said the victim had long hair. At some point they said reddish brown, long hair, tied back with a hair tie. Evidence collected during the examination is still undergoing processing to determine sex, race, and the age of the victim, as well as a DNA profile. Eddie, don't worry. Thank you for being a member for 23 months and for being here with us as we discuss this case. Is Catch Lisk here now? I see you guys are saying hi. There we go. There's Catch Lisk. I want to say, Catch Lisk, you guys might know from the Lisk case and his incredible maps and just knowledge of that case, right? So you know what I did? I went to go look at his map to see, oh, I know you list all things. Let's see if he's listed this. And he's already listed this. He said he listed this case within half an hour, and he's been going down a rabbit hole trying to look at his database, you know, and all the maps to see if he could help find who this is. So thank you, Catch Lisk, for everything that you do. Also, let me just see. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, we didn't miss that. All right. I'm going to show you a bigger picture of the tattoo in a moment. So yeah, still trying to determine the sex, race, and age of the victim, as well as a DNA profile. Now let's look at this. It's an artist's rendition of this tattoo. So anyone with information on the victim's identity is asked to contact the Brigham City Police Department. The number's on the screen. Disclaimer for YouTube: I am not sharing anything I'm not supposed to be sharing. This is a police department number. The police are asking the public for help, and they are asking the public to share this number if anyone has information, right? So here is the tattoo. Now, what do you think it says? I have asked Grok, I have asked AI what it thinks it says, and it's the whole time insists that it thinks it's saying TPH. For me, I thought it was maybe like a BPH. Oh, well, we can agree it's PH, am I right? PH, something PH. So it's TPH or BPH or something like that. We can't be specific about it. I'm just wondering, what do people see? It could just be initials of someone that obviously this person knew and loved. It could be their own initials for all we know, but very, very important to share this, because this is the main identifier of this unidentified person whose remains were found in a trash bag on the side of a train line in Brigham City, Utah. So there's an active homicide investigation. The police immediately tried to determine if the remains belonged to Utah National Guardsman Matthew Johnson. Do you remember that case? We covered it. Who was reported missing on September 20th of 2024. His wife, Jennifer Gledhill, was arrested for his murder, but his body has not been found. Now, we recently covered a case of a Green Beret who was murdered, but allegedly by his wife. So she was arrested. So it's not that case. If you think it's that one, no, we actually covered this one, and I've linked it in the description box for you in case you want to go check that out again, because immediately the police were like, oh my word, what if it's his remains? And they now say that they are pretty confident it isn't, right? So police said that they've been in touch with the Cottonwood Heights Police Department after the bag was found on Wednesday, but added that they felt confident that the remains were not those of Johnson. So maybe not the same height, maybe it is female, maybe they're thinking it's female, but we shall have to wait and see. So yeah, if you didn't see that National Guardsman's shame, his body is still missing and his wife being arrested, you could check that out afterwards. That will be your homework then, right? Because that case, I really hope they find his remains at some point. Angela says, hello, Gisela, Mods, and the Grizzlies. Hello, Angela. Thank you for being a member for 25 months. So families with missing loved ones started reaching out to the police to find out if the remains may belong to them. So far, police have not been able to identify the remains. There's another family member of missing Kathy Ray Crossley. Kathy's been missing since February of 2020. They're saying the tattoos don't sound like they match at this point, but she was 42 years old, 5'5", brown, mid-length hair with brown eyes, and her identifying features were a faded tattoo of the Star of David on her large toe and a tattoo of the Chinese character representing jade on her calf as well. So we have that, right? Okay, so remember that the trash bag of the remains was found on April 2nd of 2025. Okay, so let's see what else we have. So they were trying to already, which is very helpful as well. It must be very sad for families that have missing loved ones, just unsolved cases, to even think, oh, this could be them. Oh, that must be such a devastating process. But I'm thankful that they've been reaching out to the police and offering information and reminding them, hey, my family member's missing, could it be them? Because it could actually help, right? Until the remains are identified, police said they'll continue to work in hopes of bringing relief to someone in desperate need of closure. Police are asking for the public's help to identify the remains of this victim. Check your dash cam footage. If you see something or saw something, please say something. They are relying on the public for help. I see we just got a notification that Courtroom Confidential and their viewers have just joined. Thank you so much for being here with us. I was just over there as well watching Josh's live stream. If you don't know about the channel Courtroom Confidential, you need to check it out. Josh Ritter's been a guest with us a few times here as well, and I've been a guest on his show as well. So I'm sure you guys will love it. Now, anyone with information on the victim's identity is asked to contact the Brigham City Police Department at that number, which I won't read out, but I've just got it on the screen there, okay, just for YouTube. So you can see it there. If you know something or in the area, if you know anyone who has a tattoo like this, please do call that in, because it could really help the police out a lot, right? So then I was looking on Facebook if anyone had said anything about this case and maybe made some suggestions, and I saw there was one lady that made a suggestion that it could be this person that's been missing since 1995, and her name was Sandra, or is Sandra Mann. She was 38 years old when she went missing, and her age now would be 68. Female, white, brown hair, hazel eyes, 5'3", 125 pounds, and she went missing from Lakeland, Florida. But the thing is, look at this. Oh my word. This says Sandra was last seen in the Lakeland, Florida area. She's known to have a tattoo on her left hand with the word Charles, and a tattoo on her upper left arm of the letters LPH. And I'm like, whoa. Whoever found that, that's interesting. And, I hope that I'm sure they have. They did say on Facebook they'd been doing that they have submitted this to the police, because you just never know. Now, obviously, Florida and Utah are quite far apart, but you don't know if maybe she hitchhiked there or what happened, right? We just don't know. Okay, so then that would be one possibility. And then another one that I found while I was browsing the Utah missing persons site, even though they're searching countrywide to see is anyone, on the database that could match this. This was another one that I found in just browsing myself through all the missing persons cases on the Utah missing person site. And they said case type missing person, date last seen 1/19/2023, date of birth 11/18/1992, eyes green, hair brown, height 5'6", 110 pounds, and identifying features are multiple tattoos, left upper arm, right hand, left forearm, and neck. So that's the only one I could find that also had a left upper arm tattoo. So who knows? I just really hope that they are able to solve this one. Now let me show you. So for anyone just joining now, welcome. We are looking at this unsolved case. We're on April 2nd. It was Wednesday, April 2nd of 2025. Construction workers, they found this trash bag. They picked it up. They thought that's pretty heavy and looked inside and they saw hair and bones and called 911. The police came out and they said, yeah, that's human remains, and this became a homicide investigation. And even after performing the autopsy, they do not know who this person is. So the police are asking for the public's help, and that's what we are here for today, to get this case in the spotlight and to like, share, do all the things to get this into the algorithm. So hopefully others will also talk about it, and hopefully if anyone knows anything, they will contact the police. Noelle, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to now, wait, I want to take this one off, and I'm going to show you the press conferences that already happened. This one, let me just check the date quickly. This one was from April 3rd. That's the day after the remains were found. Okay, so we're going to see this one and then one the next day as well. So let's go like this. And let me just resize it for us a little bit here. Okay, so this is the police chief that I just had. I was quoting him on my presentation there. So go.
You good, guys? You ready? Chief, can you say and spell your name first to get it right?
Sure, it's Chad, C-H-A-D, Reyes, R-E-Y-E-S.
What's your title for us?
Chief of Police for Brigham City.
Tell us what happened today.
So, are you good? I think we might be, okay. So at 1:58 p.m. today, we received a call about a suspicious package. Union Pacific Railroad had been in the area doing some construction and noticed a package that they found suspicious while they were clearing an area. They called the police department, so Brigham City Police as well as Box Elder County Sheriff's Office responded, and at 2:05 we arrived and found the package contained human remains. At that point we contacted the Weber Metro CSI unit. They responded and assisted our detectives in canvassing the area. We collected multiple pieces of evidence and we'll be processing those. We've also involved the Utah SIAC, or the Statewide Info and Analyst Center, to conduct an analytical search for information regarding any missing persons, both at the state and national level, for data that might help us identify the victim. We're asking the public to call in to the Box Elder Communications Center with any tips or information that they might feel useful. And that's our statement, so if you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer.
What kind of remains?
Human.
Just don't know exactly?
Yeah, we're kind of holding back a little bit of information, but they're definitely human remains. It appears that they've been here for some time, but I would say, you know, sometime less than at least a couple years.
We go back to the beginning. The cleanup, the Union Pacific crew done with the day. They're cleaning up. They're picking up trash. They see this. What makes them think it's suspicious?
Just the weight of the item and the way that it was presented in the weeds.
Asking for the public's help. What did this item look like? Should it jog something in their memory, or should they be like, hey, I know what that is, or I know where that came from?
Yeah, we don't really want to disclose that information yet, just that it was a suspicious item, suspicious package.
How long do you think it's been out here?
It's hard to say, but it's been out here for at least a few months, if not longer.
The first thing that comes to mind is the Glen Hill case. Are we possibly Matthew Johnson? Any thoughts in that direction?
So we're confident. We've been in contact with Cottonwood Heights Police Department, and we're confident that it's likely not him, but we're not ruling that out completely yet.
The press release said something. I think it had a little bit more information. A plastic bag. What can you tell us, from what you've released?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we don't want to get into a lot of the details regarding the package itself or the container itself, but just it was suspicious, and suspicious enough so that it prompted a call to us.
You see, he's got interesting words. The package. So human remains found in a trash bag on April 2nd of 2025. But he can't say too much, this police chief, but it's like there's another element to this, which is interesting. Just hearing about the package and a more pliable container and all of that. I don't know what exactly he means there, but it is quite interesting.
But was it a black plastic bag or a container that's not a black plastic bag? Sorry, Chief. I always say it's in the press release.
Yeah, it wasn't a container. So it wasn't like a Tupperware container or anything like that. It was something a little bit more pliable.
Was it buried or was it just on the side?
It was on the surface.
Can you tell us, we watched a little bit
age,
of the
gender, nationality, race?
It's too early to say. We actually have transported the remains to the medical examiner's office. We'll be investigating further as part of the autopsy and probably have more answers, hopefully tomorrow.
Can you tell us what kind of shape the body was in?
It was in a state of decomposition, but I don't want to get into more details than that.
When we showed up, we saw some of your officers here working. Explain to us what they were doing, how they were doing it, and what they found.
So it's a detailed search of the area, basically just where the package was found. We're searching the entire area. It's a fairly large area. It's a rural area here, as you can tell. So we actually enlisted the assistance of Weber County's cadaver dogs to see if there might be remains that we didn't want to miss. And so we've searched that, and our detectives are basically turning over every stone.
So they were looking at the whole area to see if there were remains that they didn't want to miss. They were also digging under where that trash bag was found. So they are checking, of course, to make sure that there aren't other sets of human remains out there, So this could be eventually the work of a serial killer. It might not be, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is, based on what they're saying and based on how the remains were found and, all these coded messages here.
Did you guys find more than the initial package?
Not yet, no.
What can people do? I mean, this is out here, man. This is not an area that's well traveled. We understand what your officers, deputies told us that this is commonly known as Reader Lane, Reader Road. Tell us what your plea is. Why don't we see if we can sneak it in?
I like how this police chief at least laughs at that moment, because we always say, when there's a press conference, there's always going to be a plane, a train, a truck, something, while it's happening. Like super loud. Of course, they're right there by the train tracks, but he's like, whoa, that was loud, right? Sarah Sky, Craig says, I was just looking up LPH, and love, peace, and happiness is on the list of abbreviations. So it could be that. I've got the picture of the artist's rendition of the tattoo found on this victim's remains on the left bicep, just here, if you want to just refer to it as well. This is what the biggest identifying factor is in this case at this point.
Okay, I'm sorry. Our plans are, we'll just continue the investigation. I mean, our purpose for contacting the media and doing this press release is so that we can enlist the public's help in contacting us with... Okay.
I guess what I want to know is, if you want to jog somebody's brain at home, is it a vehicle? Is it somebody parked here? Is it? And we can wait. That's kind of where I'm thinking. How we can help people at home. Kind of. Oh yeah, I saw a car parked there. I saw this, or I saw a box in the back.
So, audio's okay? Okay. I understand exactly what you're asking for, and we would like to get as much detail as we can, but unfortunately we're trying to balance between protecting the integrity of our investigation with jogging the public's memory. So that's about the most details I can release about the packaging or the body at this time. We hope to get more information as the investigation continues, especially after the autopsy and things like that. And if we can release more information to the public in the future, in the near future, we hope to do that, because we are hoping to identify these remains as soon as possible.
This stuff doesn't happen up here.
Not very often, fortunately, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? How do you as a department approach it?
I'm very confident in my investigations team, and I'm confident that we'll make sure that we do a thorough, comprehensive investigation. And so, even though the volume of activity up here, like you're referring to, doesn't occur very often, we do have a very crack investigative team, and I'm confident that they're going to do their job.
Do you know how much longer you guys are going to be on scene tonight, or next maybe?
We probably won't be at the scene much longer tonight. We are pretty confident that we've thoroughly cased the area and searched the area, and so I believe we'll be releasing the scene tonight. The scene is fairly well contained to the area that we've got roped off over there, so we probably won't be out here much longer.
And Chief, can you just kind of...
We're still going to watch one more press conference after this and a couple of clips as well. So thank you so much for being here. For those only joining now, we are looking at the case of from Brigham City, Utah, where unidentified remains were found by construction workers on April 2nd of 2025 in a trash bag, very close to this railway line that you see, the train tracks here behind us on the train. And I showed you the map in the beginning. So if you want to see exactly where it is, make sure you check out the replay as well. And the main identifier in this case would be, after the autopsy was performed, they found this one tattoo on the victim's left bicep is where that tattoo was. I'm not too sure what it said. I could see you guys all guessing. I was also guessing, but they didn't tell us exactly what it says. It's just they're showing us an artist's rendition of what it looked like, right? So that would be what to share. So thank you all for being here and discussing this case with me. I really hope that we'll hear good news, that they were able to identify who this victim is. And then, I mean, this is an active homicide investigation now.
Point was the area of interest or the location was, just kind of give us a layout of the land.
I'm sorry, where the
remains were found.
Yeah, so the telephone pole or the utility pole right there, just kind of to the, I'm pointing to the north, and just to the west of that is where that area is. And there will be crime scene tape there that you guys can get footage of if you need to.
So potentially, possibly, these remains could have been offloaded from a train, like right now that we're seeing. I mean, were they close enough?
Yeah, I think, I mean, anything is possible. A train is probably less likely than a vehicle.
And just to be sure I understood correctly, they were not buried. They were on the surface.
They were on the surface, yes.
We see the railroad is moving again. Has that been closed all day?
The railroad has not been closed. They just closed the road to do some maintenance on the rail. So.
And can you just kind of speak to your efforts to find justice? This is someone's loved one. It's a family member, and you know, to have an end like this has got to be difficult for a family in coming days or weeks.
Yeah, this is extremely sad and unusual case. I mean, we absolutely, as I mentioned, want to ensure that we conduct a very thorough investigation and we do get justice for this victim. Any other questions?
When might we expect an update?
We might put out another press release tomorrow afternoon, depending on what the autopsy reveals for us.
Our producers, assignment desk, they need more information. What's the best way to contact you guys?
So our public information officer is Detective Crystal Beck, and I think all of your contacts have her information. They can reach back out to her.
Are you guys Twitter, Facebook? Is that your mode of
Facebook, yes.
Chief, are you going to be at the autopsy tomorrow? Are you guys sending detectives down there?
We will have detectives as well as members of the Weber Metro CSI unit.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so that's that press conference. Let me quickly show you here again on the map. Psychosaurus Rex said, why is the train less likely? I mean, elsewhere, sure, but this is right on a train line, seems just as likely to me. So here's the train line, and the remains were found here. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger so we can actually see that. So I don't know if you're thinking throwing from a train, that's a little far, but you never know. You never know. I'm not discounting it. I'm just looking at it like this. So here's the train tracks, and the remains were found. Here's this pole here and these wires, and they were found here. Right? So this is in Brigham City, Utah. That's where this took place. So let me just quickly zoom out so that you can see it again like this, and we are orientating ourselves north. So you can see, I mean, this is quite a busy intersection as well. And so just to zoom out, just so you can see the area again, right? Here's Brigham City. And it's actually over here on this train line. It's West Highway 13 and North 2600 West, this road. So it's along there, you know? So it is actually quite secluded, but there are some houses here, and it is on a road where it's leading to much busier intersections, and as you guys who are local said, it connects to cities and things like that. Okay, so now I want to show you this. This was a press conference from the following day. Let me just quickly boost it for you. All right, so we're going to watch this one now.
Completed the autopsy this morning. So the medical examiner's office completed the autopsy this morning, and our detective sergeant was down there and another detective were down there for that. Unfortunately, we are unable to determine approximate age, race, or ethnicity. It was a whole body. There are no missing parts of the body, and it was in a black garbage bag. We were also unable to determine gender. I will say that the victim has long hair that was held back with a hair tie and was wearing female clothing. The victim was in a black hoodie. The victim also had a distinctive mark that we will hopefully be releasing to the media by tomorrow. Currently, we do not have any missing persons in Brigham City, and we are still encouraging the public to contact our tip line. Questions?
Let's go over the case. For anyone who's watching right now and is just getting wind of this and needs a refresher of what's been happening up here.
I like that. Give us a refresher. Is it loud enough for you? I hope so. Also, remember that the remains were found 20 to 30 feet from that railway line. That's probably why they also say a car is more likely and maybe someone familiar with the area. True crime degenerates, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Let's hear the recap.
Walk us through how you even got to this point.
So yesterday about 2 p.m., that would be April 2nd, Union Pacific workers were in the area and located a black garbage bag. They were picking up trash, cleaning up the area that they do before they go home every night. Noticed the bag, thought it was heavy when they picked it up, and when they saw hair and bones inside the bag, and so they contacted our 911 dispatch center, and both Box Elder County Sheriff's Office responded and Brigham City Police Department responded.
Was it close to the tracks? Was it often?
Okay, now they're going to explain how close to the tracks as well. Dagny Taggart said complete body but can tell gender from the pelvis. Eventually, yes, I'm sure a forensic anthropologist is working on that, which normally, as we know, would take a little bit longer. I think the initial autopsy would just be the initial autopsy to give people some more information and try to get some information out to the public, like the tattoo, which is very helpful as well. But I'm sure there's going to be obviously more information coming out as this case progresses. Paula says, or a truck. Yes, so let's have a listen to what they say about how far this trash bag was found from the train line.
Explain the proximity to the actual train tracks itself.
It was probably 20 to 30 feet south of the train tracks and only about 10 to 15 feet off of the road that we call Reeder Lane, which is 2600 west.
So is it possible to have fallen off of a train, or does this look like it could have been driven to the area?
We don't have that information right now. We're looking into every aspect that we have. We're definitely not ruling anything out right now either.
If it was a whole body, why was it impossible to determine which gender?
It is in a fairly high state of decomposition, so it's just there's not much left of the whole body, but all body parts are there.
Can you say more about what the distinctive mark was? Is it
I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, the detective sergeant is the one who went down to the autopsy. It is his case, so we're going to get probably an artist rendition of it, and then we'll get that out.
Anything to...
So that is the update since then, because this press conference was April 3rd. Today is Sunday, April 6th, okay, when I'm sharing all this information with you, the press conferences that they had, 2 of them. I'm going to share news clips with you. We've looked at some map time and a presentation of all the information gathered. And this is the artist's rendition of the tattoo that they found on the victim's left bicep, which is actually amazing that they were able to at least find something identifiable. They didn't say height or anything like that. They just said a victim wearing female clothing, a black hoodie, leggings, and also that the victim had long hair, like tied back with a hair tie. Long reddish brown hair tied back with a hair tie. So, I mean, we don't even know the age of this victim. It could be a teenager for all we know. We don't know if they didn't mention anything about shoes, nothing about jewelry, nothing like that. So I don't know. We'll have to wait to see if there's any more that they release, but as they said, they're also protecting this homicide investigation.
Anything that can tell you how the person died? Any kind of blunt force trauma? Any markings from a weapon? Anything to tell you how this person died?
Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. The Office of the Medical Examiner did share their pictures with us, and like I said, the sergeant was down there. So as soon as we're able to release that, I'll definitely get it out to everyone.
Was the individual bound in the bag?
I didn't get any mention of that, so I can't say if they were bound or not.
Do you know for how long it remains?
It's been between anywhere from a month to years that I don't know if they were discarded here that long or if they've just been in the bag that long, but just
Like how many years?
I can't estimate that. I mean a month to years is still pretty broad.
Can you talk about how often they go through the area to check and sweep the area to clean it up? So is it daily they go through? Could somebody have
No.
done it within a day?
We did talk to Union Pacific this morning, and there is a rail worker who checks this area. I believe they said weekly, but the crew that was out here working, they're just making sure that they're not leaving their own garbage. They're making sure that they're not leaving nails all over the place, or making sure that their railroad area is kept clean.
So when was the last time somebody checked the area to when the body was discovered? What was that time frame? Do you know?
I know that they had crews out here within the last month, but they were doing other things with the railroad. They were dropping off railroad ties and stuff. They weren't actually working here yet.
Any surveillance in the area that is going to be able to help you pin down who put this here?
We haven't found any yet, and that's one reason why we're reaching out to the media and making sure this reaches as many people as possible, so that if people are like, we had one today that called in and said that he had dash cam, and so he has provided that. So even if somebody just drove through the area and thinks that they may have seen something, if they have any dash cam or pictures, a lot of people like to come out here to look at birds because the bird refuge is so close. And so if anyone's been out in this area, we would definitely love to see their footage or at least get their pictures that they have taken.
See, that would really help. That's why we share it, because obviously we are an international audience. There might be lots of locals watching for all we know, or just enough to share it then far and wide in Utah and everywhere, really, especially in America, of course, to look out for. Do you drive through that area in any given time, really? The time frame isn't clear because they say the remains could have been there for a couple of months to a couple of years, so they're keeping that very broad. They're not too sure. But if someone went bird watching there, or they have dash cam footage, even if they say, well, it's from like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, at least if they get lots of footage, they can put that all together and see maybe when there wasn't something there versus when there was something there. They could narrow down a timeline a little bit as well, right? Okay, so let's quickly continue here.
I was told by someone who lives nearby that this train only goes a short distance back and forth. Do you know that for sure, or how far?
I don't know Union Pacific's routes and things like that. It's very possible, but I also know that the depot in Brigham, the train, houses a lot. So I don't know I don't know which one goes where.
Can you tell us anything about the clothing, the color, the type of clothing? Was it a sweater? Were they jeans? Anything?
All I have right now is a black hoodie, and it was female. So there was no distinctive mark that they could see. So I'm sure that the detective sergeant is going to go through all of those pictures closely and see if there's anything he's missing.
There's no confirmation yet that it's a woman, just that it have a female clothing.
Yeah, and long hair with a hair tie, but it's not always a 100% guarantee that it would be female.
Any pants, jeans, cargo pants, sweats?
The detective sergeant didn't give me that, so if I do have an update, I'll send it out through my media distribution, and you guys will
So they said black leggings later. Black hoodie, black leggings.
have it as soon as possible.
The chief said you were talking with Utah SIAC.
yesterday. I know you said there's no missing persons cases here in Brigham City necessarily, but are there any you're looking at right now, maybe in the broader area?
We're definitely taking in account that this person may not be from Box Elder County. So we are looking at all missing persons, both state and nationwide, with SIAC, and SIAC is looking deep into that.
Crystal, how long have you been an officer?
I have been an officer in Box Elder County for 10 years.
How, you live? This is your community?
I worked 5 years with Box Elder County Sheriff's Office, and then I've done about 5 years with Brigham City.
What's this like for a community like this? Corinne's a small little town, having this in their backyard.
Both Brigham City and Corinne, I mean, we definitely here in Box Elder County have had traumatic incidences that have happened, but I think even in Salt Lake, these things happen and it's still a shock. It's still close to home, and it's still something that we're not expecting.
You know, we were kind of just talking.
Okay, we've just got a few minutes left of this press conference, and I'm going to show you some other news clips as well. If you missed the beginning of the stream, hope you'll check it out, because we did a whole presentation, just bullet points of all the information we know so far, which is really what to share as well. These press conferences are tremendously helpful too, and I got a lot of information from them to put into that presentation, right? So JC Broadway said lots of Utahns in the chat. That's great to hear. Welcome to everyone from Utah that's in the chat. That's where this case takes place.
And before, and we've covered stories where there's bodies as well, but in a plastic bag. Is that kind of, does that throw things off for you guys?
Absolutely. I worked as an investigator for the medical examiner's office for quite some time, and not once have I ever in 10 years came across a body in a bag.
What does that say about, like, is this kind of scary? I guess a little bit. It's like somebody took the time, had a body in a bag. They put it here, maybe, you know, more hard to say, but still, it's a body in a bag. It's not something that was a transient, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely somebody's loved one, and to have them discarded like this is just unfathomable for me. I can't imagine taking someone that I cared deeply about and putting them in a bag.
Does that make you guys want to, like, really work harder for this kind of thing? You work hard on all cases.
Yes, we do work hard on all cases, but it definitely brings a sense of urgency to it, because this is somebody's loved one. This is someone's family member who they don't have closure for. They have no idea where this person might be, and I think that everyone deserves to know what happened. So Sergeant Sapino and all of us detectives are going to work as hard as possible to bring their loved one home to them.
In what part of the body the remains have the distinctive mark that you said?
It was on one of the arms. So
Left bicep. That's where this tattoo was. And if I just quickly make it bigger here, sorry lady, I'm to put it over your face. Some people that know calligraphy say it could be C and PH. So that's interesting as well. C and PH. Could be LPH, it could be TPH. To me, it doesn't look like T. But it could be all of those, who knows. But C and PH, interesting as well, because there's definitely, it looks like a letter, and then there's a little squiggle there, which could be and, which is interesting as well. So if it is C and PH or L and PH, that's interesting too. Who knows? The reason we're just speculating what it could be is just in case somebody's watching and that jogs their memory of saying, wait a minute, I knew someone with a tattoo like that. That's what the police would need. Then call it in if you think that you might know who has a tattoo like that or who this person could be, because they are trying to identify these unidentified remains in this homicide investigation. And once they know who it is, then of course that could get to the next step of, well, who murdered them? Because they say this is a homicide investigation, right? So what happened to them?
Hopefully someone knowing that there's a distinctive mark on one of the arms, that they'll be able to be like, it'll jog their memory and bring something up. I'm not sure yet. I'll make sure that everyone gets the artist's rendition of it.
What happens next?
Well, it keeps moving forward. Unfortunately, right now we don't have a suspect. We don't have a name for our victim. So we're going to look at every investigative tool we have. We work so closely in Box Elder County with our fellow law enforcement officers that we've got Box Elder County looking at some things. We've got everybody here looking at some things. I mean, our search and rescue came out last night, or Box Elder County search and rescue came out last night, gave us a command post. We had Weber County, both their CSI and their search and rescue cadaver dogs out here. So we're just really lucky that we are able to reach out to people that don't even work in our county, and they don't hesitate to even come out and help, or even just offer suggestions.
And given the fact that there's no suspect at this point, is there any reason for the people that live nearby and the greater community here to be concerned?
We don't think that there's any threat to the public. I think that this was more of just a convenient place that they thought was more secluded than it is, to dispose of the remains.
My last question for you, if there is somebody who does have some information that might be afraid to come forward but wants to come forward, how do they do that?
So there's a tip line. The Brigham City Corporation website has a tip line. There is a tip line on the Brigham City Police Department page that they can come forward on without leaving much personal information. We would obviously like to talk to someone. If someone would like to reach out and to have it anonymous, I'm Detective Beck. They can text me. All of you guys have my cell number, so that it can be a text message. If they're just like, hey, I saw this in the area, I need it looked at, but I don't want to be involved, then they can reach out that.
And that's the end of that clip there. So lots of you are only joining now, so welcome. Remember that it's going to be important to watch the whole episode today so that you get all the details that are known, like when the police chief said that he worded it interestingly. They talk about this black trash bag with human remains in, but he said it's like a pliable container, a suspicious package like inside the trash bag. So that's interesting as well. And he said that they were searching for other human remains in the area as well. And immediately this became a homicide investigation. So if there's any other, I couldn't find any other news articles of remains being found like that, in the area, but you just never know. If there are, please email me just so that I can also check it out on the map, but please tell the police about it if there's like an MO, you know what I mean? If you know of anything in the surrounding areas or wherever of remains being left like that. So this is now the tattoo that was found. It's an artist's rendition of the tattoo that was found on the victim on their left bicep. So we don't know exactly what it says. Everybody's chipping in and speculating, which I absolutely appreciate. You never know if somebody's watching, and that will help them remember that maybe their loved one had a tattoo like that. But this is what they have produced, right? That's what the police have offered to the public to share far and wide. Okay, so we've got just a couple of clips left to watch. So let's see here what, these are very short, they're like a minute or so. So let's see what this, I think this is one of the neighbors, what he says.
Scary. It's wild, actually, to know that there's a dead body right across the street.
Joey Sandoval has lived in his house near Highway 13 for over 30 years, right across the street from where human remains were found.
This is a small town. Stuff like this doesn't happen.
Wednesday afternoon, Union Pacific Railroad Company was working near the railroad, found a suspicious bag, and called police. When police arrived on scene, they found it was human remains, ruling it as a homicide investigation.
Later on during the day, there was a lot of cops. There's like 15 vehicles out there, CSI, the dog.
Brigham police say they collected multiple pieces of evidence and will be processing them. Police Chief Chad Reyes of Brigham City says the remains look like they've been there for a while.
Sometime less than at least a couple years.
Police are involving the Utah Statewide Information and Analysis Center to further investigate.
Heart goes out to the family.
This is an ongoing investigation, and we'll bring you the latest updates right here on abc4.com.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a natural pausing point. So I wanted to show you that one. Now let me just show you a few of the others that I've also got here for you. Just hold on one second. Let's look at this one as well.
An investigation continues tonight in Brigham City, where local police tell us that construction crews found a black trash bag in the dirt behind me here that was filled with human remains.
Neighbors tell us they've memorized this stretch of road.
It's the first time that road has been closed, so we had to go as a detour. I had a doctor's appointment today, so I had a detour around.
But Joey Sandoval was never prepared to learn what awaited him off West Highway 13 when he returned home Wednesday.
It's actually shocking. It's really shocking to know that there's a dead body across the street that's probably been there for years.
Sandoval says dozens of cop cars lined up across the street from his front yard, where those Pacific Union workers who prompted the road closure made a grisly discovery. Brigham City Police say hair and bones were in the trash bag, badly decomposing over a period of months or years. Chief Chad Reyes says they are investigating this as a homicide and working with county and state leaders to help bring closure as soon as possible.
This is extremely sad and unusual case. I mean, we absolutely, as I mentioned, want to ensure that we conduct a very thorough investigation and we do get justice for this victim.
We aren't expecting to hear any updates in this case until tomorrow when the autopsy is conducted at the Utah State Medical.
And we watched that press conference together. Sorry to pause there, sir. I wanted to show you this because it's a shame. It's so sad. Obviously, when family members that have missing loved ones, some for months, some for years, get all like, wow, oh my goodness, could this be my loved one? Now this is actually, wait, let me first show you this. This is based on other human remains that were found in Utah recently. And I want to show you this clip afterwards, just as an example of, you know, the family members being like, could this be my loved one? And them coming forward. And that's just so devastating to see that, you know. I do hope that they get closure. It just must be such a devastating process to go through thinking, could this be? Because it's kind of exciting to be like, could this be my loved one? Could we have answers? But at the same time, it's so devastating, right? So here they said, because I was now looking, well, were there other human remains found recently or whenever in the same state or what happened? So, okay, so they said human skull and other remains found near a pond in West Valley City, West Valley, Utah. An investigation is underway, and this was dated March 26th of 2025. So it's about like a week before these other remains were found on April 2nd, right? So it said West Valley City, Utah, an investigation is underway after a fisherman found human remains near a golf course in West Valley City. Police say they received a call just after 7 p.m. from a man who found the remains while fishing. It happened near the 220 Lake Park Boulevard, an area comprised of office buildings and the Stone Bridge Golf Club, with streams and ponds running between them. Philip Morphin, the man who found the remains, spoke with Fox 13 News, and he said he was fishing in the channel that leads to the big pond when he saw something strange in the mud several feet from the shore. He said it looked like a skull, but initially he thought it belonged to an animal. But then he used his fishing rod to turn it over, and he saw eye sockets. There's no mistaking what I saw. It was a human skull in the mud, Morphin said. Officers with the West Valley City Police Department responded and confirmed that the remains belonged to a human. A state medical examiner is expected to respond to figure out any additional information, such as the person's ID. Morphin said the other remains appeared to be 2 femur bones and a smaller bone, possibly an arm. We have a missing person out here, and we just don't know who it is, you know, he said. I don't know who it could be. I have no idea. I just found a skull. So that was a week before these remains were found in a trash bag, and it was actually... Let me show you on the map here, because I wanted to see, well, how far away was it from where the trash bag was found with remains in it. So the trash bag with remains in was found at this 1576 North, 2600 West Road. And it's about an hour's drive south. So if you go here to Salt Lake City, it was in this area in a pond where these other remains were found. Now what I did was I put the transit lines on, and I followed the train line from there, because I was like, what if someone was on the train, or what if they're driving this road, and so interestingly enough, the train line that goes from there, there's obviously changes that one would have to make, but it does run all the way to that other area as well. But with it being the trash bag being 20 to 30 feet away, if it was pretty heavy, because that's what construction workers said, that would be pretty difficult to throw from a train. But otherwise, I just find it interesting. Just those two could, I don't know if they're linked or not. It absolutely doesn't have to mean it. I just wanted to see. I was curious. Were there other human remains found recently or in Utah or the surrounding areas? So what I then found was this clip that I was just about to show you, just as an example and these family members are also reportedly coming forward in this case now, the one with the trash bag that was found, being like, oh my word, could that be my loved one? Because when the skull was found in the pond, they all came forward, and shame, they were all saying, what if that's my loved one? Maybe there could be answers, and they're all waiting for answers to also have that set of human remains identified.
Families waiting for answers, all with loved ones who have yet to be found.
This is our beauty right here, and she's gone.
The latest findings here in West Valley City. Another moment of somber hope that their loved one has finally been found.
At this point, my fingers are crossed, and it feels yucky to want that body to be my loved one, but I'm tired.
That longing turning into belief that this recent discovery could be their answer.
Feel something different. The other times I just sat home and waited, but this time it fits everything in the investigation.
Since Susan went missing here in West Valley, just 3 miles away from here, this is a very good possible location, so we just kind of have to wait it out.
Marilyn Stevenson is the director of the Missing Coalition, and she too waits for answers, not only for the family she works with, but in her own pain.
We just want to bring Justin home. We want to bring him home with his family. And I know that that's the way each one of these family members feel. They just want to bring their loved one home.
I mean, of course you don't want that to be the outcome, but it would be closure to where I could put respect on her name and take the right steps into closing that chapter, and then figuring out, okay, what happened and why is she here?
Jordan has 2 daughters, and they deserve to have that closure with their dad.
As they all wait for answers, knowing this one might not be it, they continue in this cycle of hope and grief.
Living in a nightmare day after day for a year.
It's like hell on repeat.
Shame. So, I mean, that clip was based on family members being interviewed of missing persons after a skull and then more bones were found in a pond in Utah, and that was on March 25th of 2025. Then, a week later, which was in Brigham City, Utah, which is about an hour north, oh my goodness, then a trash bag was found with unidentified remains there as well. So I'm sure all those families also like, wait, what? Like, okay, let's consider this tattoo. You know, I don't know, as they described, it would be so sad to know that that's their loved one, but at the same time, they want answers. I quickly want to show you, I was talking about Catch Lisk earlier. You might know Catch Lisk. Raul, right? Catch Lisk, are you still here? Make yourself known. So you might know about Raul. His X handle is called Catch Lisk, and on YouTube he's called Catch Lisk as well. And he has such great maps, so detailed, and he maps like all the missing persons countrywide. I mean, so I'm just not going to zoom out right now, otherwise I'll lose my place. But if you look here, it was, now I've got to find my place. Wait, Box Elder Peak. Let's see this one. If you click on each little heart here, he has put this one. No, that was an infant found, the yellow one. Yeah, there we go. He's already put this one in. Within half an hour of this case hitting the news, Raul had put this on the map already. So I'm now going to zoom out because you can see that, and he lists off all the details as well. So if you ever want to go and look at the reason I'm showing you this is if you want to go and find Raul's maps, okay? It's really great. I started going there to see, well, are there any on his database that have a tattoo like that on the left bicep, because he documents everything. So let me quickly I'm just going to put his links quickly here. Here are all his links. I'm putting it in the chat like this, okay? So if you ever wanted to just go and browse, because you never know, it does help the police sometimes, right? To solve cases, to be like, wait a minute. So look, I'm going to zoom out so you can see. Like literally everything is mapped. Look at that. Look at that. And obviously Catch Lisk, so Long Island serial killer, starting with mapping out all the victims and potential victims of the Long Island serial killer. And then look at all the other work that he's done. So that is incredible. And I know his work is incredible. So I went there to go, look, did he put this on the map? Yes, he did. I was so impressed. I was like, oh my word, he actually has that one. This case that's barely hit the news, he's already got it on the map. That's amazing. Okay, so we have that, and then what is this map of? Oh yeah, that was just between the two. Okay, so I think we actually went through everything that we wanted to go through today to share all this information. Quickly recap for those of you who don't know that the discovery was made on April 2nd of 2025. It was a trash bag that was found with human remains inside. Construction workers found this trash bag. The human remains are unidentified, and the police are asking the public for help to try to identify this person. The greatest identifier is the tattoo that you see up here. They haven't specified exactly what it says because, I mean, they wouldn't want to limit it either. They just show us a picture, an artist's rendition of it, right? So we went over that as well. Somebody, SJ, just mentioned that there was a National Guard or a soldier that went missing and his body has not been found. That's actually one of the first cases that they looked at when they found these remains, which I'm going to go back to that slide in a moment. What we know so far, this one. The police immediately tried to determine if the remains belonged to Utah National Guardsman Matthew Johnson, who was reported missing on September 20th of 2024. And later they said they'd been in contact with the Cottonwood Heights Police Department after the bag was found on Wednesday, but added that they felt confident that the remains were not those of Johnson. So here's another picture of the tattoo as well. And so going back to this, it's just interesting that the police chief says it's a suspicious package, saying that the body was found in a garbage bag. And the chief said, Reyes said it was found in a more pliable container, but would not elaborate. So whether that's a body bag or, as someone said, is it a laundry bag? Is it a tarp? I don't know. We just don't know. So I'm really hoping that sharing this will help others to learn about this and to also share it. I'm trying to also help the news get a bit of a boost because I see not many people are watching those news clips and things. So I've linked them all in the description box for you if you want to go and check them out again for yourself, or if you obviously you can watch this replay. Everything will be here for you as well. And let's hope that they will be able to figure out who the remains belong to, how they were murdered, and then who murdered them so that they can be caught. Because that's also, you know, would someone kill once and just chuck someone like that? I don't know. If there is a pattern that's even more scary, then there could be a serial killer on the loose, right? Even though they say there's no danger to the public, I disagree. There could be. There could be. No one wants to scare anyone, but the truth is there could be. Until they catch who killed that person, yeah, that's dangerous. Copper Horse says, be the light. Yes, we'll be a lighthouse and be the light. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today to discuss this case. I hope that you will like, share. You can do that on repeat as well. You can like and share today. You can like and share tomorrow, just until obviously this gets some momentum, more people talk about it. Hopefully we're able to help the police out, because that's obviously the goal. When the police appeal to the public, you know, and they say, please help us, that is where we come in. The Grizzlies are great at that. So thank you so much, everyone. I will see you again very soon. If there's any updates, like right after this, I will put a pinned comment for you. So always check the pinned comments, because there might be updates there, timestamps, things like that. In the meantime, everyone, have a wonderful Sunday ahead. I hope that you have had a good weekend, and I will see you again very soon. Stay safe.